Hey guys, I'm Nisa Homey. Today I'm sharing a healthy, filling and nutrient dense ragi soup recipe perfect for dinner. So let's get started with the recipe. To make a vegetable ragi soup, I'm using one small carrot which I have chopped, 1/4 cup green peas, 5 shallots. Now I prefer to use shallots in my recipes as they are a good source of iron and folate. However, if you don't have shallots at hand, you can use 1/4 of an onion, 2 garlic cloves, 1 green chili. Green chili you can increase or decrease as per your taste. A small piece of ginger, 5 to 6 green beans which I have finely chopped. Now instead of all these vegetables I'm using, you can use any vegetable which you have at hand at the moment. You can also include green leafy vegetables of your choice. I'm heating my clay pan with 2 teaspoons wood pressed sesame oil. Sesame oil is also known as till oil or nallenna in Malayalam. Healthy cooking is all about using the right quality of oils. So try to include wood pressed oils in your diet for your better health. Once the oil starts to get heated up, I'm swirling the pan so that the oil is nicely coated all over the pan. Once the oil is heated, I'm adding in 3/4 teaspoon jeera, also known as cumin seeds. And once the jeera starts to splutter, I'm reducing the flame to the lowest and slicing in the shallots. I'm finely chopping the shallots and adding it into the pan. Next, I'm finely chopping in the green chili. Green chili you can increase or decrease as per your taste. The garlic cloves. Give this a quick stir. I'm grating in about 1/4 inch of ginger. And now I'm giving it a good mix and I'm allowing the shallots to turn transparent or light pink in color. So this is a very simple, easy, healthy and filling meal which you can have for lunch or for dinner. And once the shallots has turned transparent, I'm adding in the vegetables. Give it a good stir. While the vegetables are sauteing, into my stone grinder I'm adding in 1/2 teaspoon whole black peppercorns and I'm crushing and powdering the black peppercorns. Using freshly ground black pepper gives an amazing flavor to the soup. I'm adding in the freshly ground black pepper powder and I'm giving it a good mix. Adding in pink Himalayan salt as needed, 1/4 teaspoon or a fat pinch of turmeric powder. Today I'm using Vigon turmeric which has high curcumin content and I'm giving all this a good mix. I'm sauteing the vegetables on low flame. Now instead of the vegetables I have used, like I previously mentioned, you can use any locally sourced vegetables of your choice. You can also use chopped broccoli, cauliflower, capsicum. Any vegetable can be used in this recipe. Allow the vegetables to saute for about 2 to 3 minutes. While the vegetables are sauteing, let's get the ragi mix ready. Into a cup, I'm adding in 3 tablespoons sprouted ragi flour and into that I'm adding in water. So that is 1 cup of water and I'm mixing it with a spoon. So basically you need to make sure that the ragi is well mixed into the water. I'm using room temperature water to mix the ragi. You should make sure that there are no lumps once the ragi is nicely mixed. Ragi or finger millet is a whole grain and it is completely gluten free. It is rich in fiber and the high fiber helps to feel fuller for a longer time and thus it helps in weight loss and weight management. Meanwhile, the vegetables are lightly sauteed. Into this I'm adding in 1 cup or 1 glass of water. Give it a good stir, cover and allow it to come to a boil. Now you need to make sure that the ragi is nicely mixed and for that reason you need to mix it in room temperature water first. If you add the ragi flour directly into the hot soup, what happens is that the ragi will get clumped and it will not get mixed nicely. So you need to make sure the ragi is nicely mixed in water before you add it into the hot soup. Ragi is packed with calcium, good carbs, amino acids and vitamin D. Ragi has a good amount of iron, thus it is ideal for those with iron deficiency anemia. Once ragi is sprouted, the vitamin C level tend to increase and that lead to easy absorption of iron into the bloodstream. Ragi is ideal to include in diabetic diet. It is one of the very few natural sources of vitamin D. Hence, the addition of a good source of healthy fats like wood-pressed oils or desi ghee is very important for the assimilation of vitamin D, which is fat soluble. So always try to make sure that you're using a good source of healthy fat for better assimilation of fat soluble vitamins. Okay, now the ragi is nicely mixed and you can see that there are no lumps. It's perfectly mixed. Now let's check on the vegetables. The vegetables are nicely cooked. So now I'm adding in the ragi mix. Now give this a good mix and allow it to come to a boil. And once you start to see the soup coming to a boil, give it a good stir just to make sure that ragi is not getting stick to the bottom of the pan. And as the ragi starts to get cooked, it will start to thicken. So there is no need to add in any extra arrowroot powder or any thickening agent. And once it starts to boil, reduce the flame to the lowest and let it cook on low flame for about 3 to 5 minutes. 3 minutes later, you can see that the ragi has started to thicken. Another couple of minutes later, you can turn off the flame and the soup is ready to serve. If you have spring onions or onion flowers at hand, you can chop them and sprinkle them on top as a garnish. At this stage, you can check salt. If you feel you need more salt, you can add in. Now, this is the consistency of the ragi soup I prefer. If you would like to have it into a slightly thicker consistency, you can increase half tablespoon to 1 tablespoon of sprouted ragi flour. Now the ragi soup will slightly thicken once it has cooled down. So 3 tablespoons of sprouted ragi flour to 2 cups of water is what I prefer. If you want, you can either thin the soup or thicken the soup by increasing or decreasing the sprouted ragi flour. And now the ragi is nicely cooked and has thickened. So I'm going to turn off the flame and then I'm adding in 1 teaspoon apple cider vinegar. I'm adding the apple cider vinegar after the flame has been turned off. Now the reason why I'm using apple cider vinegar is to get some healthy gut-friendly probiotics. Also, when you're using apple cider vinegar, make sure you're using the one with the mother. The mother is actually the healthy gut-friendly bacteria. I'm going to cover and let it sit for about a couple of minutes and then I'll serve. As you can see, once the soup has cooled down, it has thickened. So 3 tablespoons of sprouted ragi flour to 2 cups of water is ideal, but it is just a matter of personal preference. You can change the consistency by increasing or decreasing ragi flour to suit your taste. So guys, do try this healthy ragi soup recipe and let me know how it turned out. Thank you for watching and until next time, take care. Bye-bye.